So, thank you everyone for the food. First of all, thank you for the food. It was so good, wasn't it? And probably the people who made it are still down there cleaning up. So, that was very good.
There were so many different flavors. Oh, it was so good.
And options, yes.
Yes.
Very, very good.
It was delicious. Thank you.
So we're going to share some things with you again this afternoon. By the way, just to be prepared, if you use this QR code, you can also look in your handout, and there's something called a quick survey. And if you hit the big QR code that's on the screen here, and you do it on your phone, you can just go through it, and just a quick survey just for us, so that you give us a quick feedback on what you think happened here, and just keep it in mind, to evaluate. Just feedback for us, that would be good. Okay, let's go. And also, if you look on our It Is Written Canada YouTube, you can see a number of these presentations are there, and some churches actually use these, and they get together. They go through them together, and that's very helpful as well for some couples too. If you forget anything that we've said here, you can refresh yourself and watch those episodes. So what we're talking about this afternoon are the key components to marital happiness, and so we'll go through those now. Okay? So let's have a word of prayer as we begin. Marlon, you want to pray for us? The blue microphone.
Testing. Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you so much to be here for the gift of love and relationships, Lord, that you've given to us. That it's good not to be for man to be alone. So we thank you, and as we go into the foundation of relationships and marriages, as that friendship, Lord, and the connectedness, Lord, I just share that you would be with us and guide and direct our conversations this afternoon. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. You have a very good media team here, which is really good to have, supportive, committed people. So yesterday evening, for those of you who are here and anyone who wasn't here, we'll get you up to speed. We talked about the masters versus the disasters. And do you remember one sentence for the masters? What would you give it? What would be the one sentence for the masters in relationships? Anyone remember? Okay, go ahead, Hallie. Yeah. Communicate with gentleness. That wasn't exactly this, but that's good. But that wasn't the phrase or the sentence that we put up here. But gentleness is really important. I think that's a key word for the masters. Anyone else? Yes, go ahead, Ivy.
Look for things to appreciate.
Look for things to appreciate. So the masters look for the best in each other. So they look for the things to appreciate. That creates something we call positive sentiment override, or friendship. And what was the disasters? Does anyone remember what they were? Yeah, go ahead, Ivy.
Focus on fixing what's wrong.
They focus on fixing what's wrong. And so when you're always trying to fix, you fix your house because you bought a new house, but now it starts to, it's not always perfect. And you need maintenance. And then you fix your car because you need maintenance. And you fix your wife because she needs maintenance, right? Not a good procedure, okay? So we want to be always focusing on fixing. And so the one word, now that Hallie got this right, the one word that characterizes the masters is gentleness, okay? So we need a spirit of gentleness. We cannot live right in the family circle without this spirit of gentleness. And for the disasters, harshness, okay? Harshness. So the Bible says that a harsh word stirs up anger. So when someone is harsh towards you, of course, you don't feel so grateful about that. I want to share, this is a bit of a long quote, but I think it's really important that we get the essence of what's being said here. This is really important. So we don't want to misquote the Bible, and this kind of puts us on track. I'll read this to you. You want to take a picture of it, you can do that. But it was not the design of God that the husband should have what? Can you see that word? Control, as head of the house, when he himself does not submit to Christ. He must be under the rule of Christ, that he may represent the relation of Christ to the church. If he is a coarse, rough, boisterous, egotistical, harsh, and overbearing man, let him never utter the word that the husband is the head of the wife, as she must, and that she must submit to him in everything, for he is not the Lord. He is not the husband in the true significance of the term. Does that make sense? So if he's not representing Christ, if he's not showing the love of Christ, if he's just rough and boisterous and egotistical and coarse and harsh, right? Overbearing, you don't want to submit to that, right? Okay. If the wife should have the same mold of character as her husband, woe be to the children. The whole family would be a blot upon the earth instead of being a house band or husband to bind the family together into the unity that is symbolized by the unity of Christ in the church. He will break every tie of affection, and the members of the family will be scattered, filled with bitterness and hatred one toward another. So you see what's happening here? When there is harshness in the family, that harshness spreads, and that is not what Christ wants us to have. That harshness can spread in the church. That harshness can spread in your workplace. Wherever there's relationships and there's harshness, we want to move in the direction of gentleness. And if you find that harshness within your own character, within your own relationships, forgiveness and asking for forgiveness and apologizing in humility and asking the Lord to change you, very, very important. So here's a question that you can discuss amongst, or maybe with us, and we'll give you a chance because the people on the cameras want to hear you as well. There are some people who are watching online. What does love look like to you? What does love look like to you? I know it's a big question, so you can think about it. There's a hand at the back.
Someone at the back there.
What does love look like to you?
Happiness?
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 Mm-hmm. How do you achieve that?
We're going to share how you achieve that this afternoon if you're not sure.
How do you achieve that happiness, that love that brings happiness? You just get married, you have a nice, expensive wedding, and then you'll be happy.
When you say, what does love look like to you, do you mean like healthy or unhealthy love? Like, what do you mean?
Healthy?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what does love look like to you? Love, healthy love? Yeah.
For me, it means kindness and being genuine with one another, and selfless.
Selfless. Very good.
I'm curious to hear what your wife thinks love looks like. Would you share?
By the grace of God, we do agree with that. To me, love is definitely selflessness, to put your spouse's needs before yours, and always, like always wanting the best for your spouse.
Yeah.
And it seems like the two of you are definitely practicing selflessness with your two little ones, because they sure do take a lot of time, right? So you're sacrificing a lot having two little ones like that. So
We have three things to give: time, energy, and money. And we spend a lot of those on children, okay? And on one another in your... Go ahead. Yes.
Love to me is caring, lots of caring.
Caring.
Yes.
Caring.
Caring.
Yes. Hallie.
For me, love is putting your heart and soul into the relationship. Not like, when I say that, I don't mean like, you're still making time for yourself, and you can separate yourself from the other person. Because even though two become one. And even though you share your life with the other person, you can have your own interests and stuff. And, oh, I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah.
Is self-care selfishness? Oh, you wanted to say something?
I was going to say maybe another way of validating what you're saying is to be intentional and invested in the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, being invested in it, not doing it because you have to, but because you actually want to. And yeah, it helps when both parties are putting in the same effort, but sometimes they're dealing with stuff, so you got to be patient and understanding. And if you have an issue, say something, because there's no guarantee that the other person's going to know or understand unless you communicate with them.
Family unity. It's when there's unity, then it's smooth. You don't have to worry about walking on eggshells or anything like that. It's just smooth.
I like that. Smooth family.
How about commitment? Commitment to each other.
Yeah. So what does that look like?
Caring, nurturing, in good times and bad times. Unconditional love.
Okay.
Respect.
Respect.
Respect, yes.
Is respect the same as love? Yeah?
Yeah, like understanding each other, respect each other' opinion.
Okay.
Learn to be like humility.
Okay. Okay. Good. At the back.
Well, the love doesn't base only like your wife and a husband alone, but friends, your workplace. If you have love, like anywhere you go, you take it. And respect and care, you need all these tools to complete the love.
Which is higher, though, respect or love? Like, if the police officer pulls you over, do you respect the police officer?
Yes, you have to.
Do you love him? No.
Well, if I'm speeding and police officer pull me over, I have to respect the crown.
Yeah, you respect him, but do you love him?
Especially if it gives you a heavy fine.
That is a tough question, but...
The answer is no. Okay. So the thing is, love and respect are very different. God asks a husband to love his wife. He asks the wife to respect her husband. There's a difference there. If he's really in that position of Christ, he is nourishing her because he's seeing her as he has to take care of her. And so he's looking for the very best in her. In other words, she is not the object of his happiness. He is pouring himself into her because that's self-giving. It's self-sacrificing and self-surrender. That's what it is. That's what Christ gave for us, right? I'm just wanting to show you how much weight Paul is actually putting on the man. And usually we say, oh, you must respect her, you must serve your husband. And Sarah looked up to Abraham and called him Lord. Why? Because he was self-sacrificing. And any woman who experiences that kind of self-sacrificing love, of course, she doesn't mind in that case. Okay.
Okay. For you showing TLC, tender loving care.
Yes.
So if your husband or wife, you're showing your care, you be a gentle to her or him.
Yes.
So TLC.
TLC, tender love.
Amen.
Very
can say love is a verb. It's an action word, so we need to show that love by how you act on it.
It's an action word.
Preach it.
Love is a
Preach
verb.
it.
It's an unconditional.
Yes.
Do you know what was on the top of my list on the 6 pages of ways that my husband could love me?
Yes, I do.
What was it? Do you remember?
Yes, be a man of action.
Love in action. Yeah.
Love not only in word, but in truth and in deed or action, right? I didn't do that. I loved in word. I told my wife I loved her, but did I show it? Not really.
So then we doubt the love.
You know, when we talk, somebody over here mentioned about commitment. In the Gottmans, we're going to be doing kind of the 3 levels of the house shortly here. But the walls are trust and commitment that we don't necessarily talk about this afternoon. But trust and commitment are the walls that hold up the foundation of the house, right? That holds on the roof, that keeps the house together. And a lot of times when we're coaching couples, we ask the question, you know, when we first meet, usually they're in the process of separating. We get a lot of that, and we ask, well, how committed are you to reconciling and repairing the relationship? And they usually say, like a 10 or an 8, they're committed, but then we ask, okay, now how committed are you to doing the work? So yes, you're committed for long term, but how committed are you short term? Are you willing to put everything, invest your time, money, resources, and how committed are you to actually making, that's where the 2 levels of commitment. And we find a lot of people say, yeah, I'm committed to restoring, but okay, now how committed am I to get in the trenches and really make this work, right?
Good. Yeah.
Going to cheat.
Yeah.
It says here, love is a complex and profound human experience encompassing a diverse range of emotional, cognitive, and behavioral states characterized by strong affection, attachment, and care for one another, person, animal, or thing. Yeah.
That's big.
And I always tell my husband, when he said, I love you, and I said, action speaks louder than words.
And what does he say? What does he say back? Or does he go do it?
So far she stayed. Yeah. Go ahead, Ivy.
To me, love, I think it not just between spouses or children and parents. I think it's more towards everyone, everything, including animals.
Okay.
And just like everyone said, selfless, take action.
Yeah.
And you really care for that person or that animal. It's from your bottom of your heart.
Yes.
It's not pretending or a show to prove someone, I did this and did that because I love this person or I love doing this.
Yes.
No, it's from your heart and without any rewards.
Yes.
I think that's more towards even your parents, your children, your spouse, or animals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very important. And think about that. When a child is little, they want a puppy, right? And you say, I don't think so. Why not? Because it's cute, and you think it's going to make you happy, but you have to get up and feed it, you know, and you clean up its mess, and you know, all those kinds of things. And when you have a child who is of an age, or at least a child who's responsible enough to do that, they're going to learn something about love. That's a little bit different than just it's a cute little puppy, right? And we can play together. What about when the puppy doesn't behave, right? Yeah. So it's a good example. So I just wanted to share this little quote with you. If we were to take, now listen to this illustration, all the paternal love, that's all the parental love, all the family love, which has come down from generation to generation through the channel of human hearts, all the springs of tenderness which have opened in the souls of men, that's all romantic love, all of that, and you were to put it into, how would you describe it? She says, they are but a tiny rill. In other words, a little trickle to the boundless ocean when compared with the infinite, exhaustless love of God. Wow. So God's love is huge. And we don't even sense how big it is. Because ours sometimes burns within us, and it's so big, right? You know, the Bible talks about thy loving kindness, it's better than life. It's so big. So if you are this glass, and a glass isn't meant to be empty, neither are you meant to be empty of love, and the water is filling you, which one of these glasses do you want to be? Glass number 1, 2, or 3? Or do you want more? What about glass 4? Want to be glass 4? Or do you want glass 5? Does God want to fill you with more and more and more and more and more of his love? And you say, stop, enough, enough, enough. Or do you say, keep pouring? Keep pouring. When you have that keep on pouring and pouring and pouring, that's something that scientifically is called positive sentiment override. It's a buffer against irritability and emotional distance and harsh words. It's actually the scientific term for friendship. That's an interesting term, right? We have friendship. You are my friend. I have positive sentiment override towards you. That means my positive sentiments are so great that they override any kind of negativity. And when there is negativity, when there are harsh words, when there's emotional distance, when there's irritability, I still see the best in you. In fact, when I see that happening, I say, that's not you. You are not at your best today. And I see the best in you. That's grace, okay? That's positive sentiment override. What would be the opposite of that? Negative sentiment override. What does that look like, love? Negative sentiment override.
Negative sentiment override. When this creeps into a relationship, it doesn't matter how positive the other person is, you will never see anything good. It'll always be read in a negative way. Like Marlon and Doreen with their testimony this morning. They were definitely, you were in negative sentiment override, right?
Yeah. Marlon would bring flowers home for me.
Very nice, kind, loving husband.
And I'd say, honey, where did you get the flowers?
At work.
I knew it. You just can't be intentional.
I was intentional because they announced it over the PA. I had to walk down the hall to get them.
Oh, really? That's intentional for you.
It is. So just because I don't pay for them doesn't mean I don't.
You didn't pay for them?
Well, no, they were free. They were leftovers.
Oh, man.
They were, what?
In the trash.
It's so ungrateful, such a negative perspective, eh?
That's negative perspective. Was it something nice that he did?
Yeah.
Sure it was. But when you're in a negative perspective, what did I see? He didn't go out of his way. He didn't buy them with his own money, which means he wasn't intentional. I'm rigid.
Preach.
Rigid, yes.
You guys see how hard? So you guys see
Yes.
how hard it was for me for 24 years?
So now that we're in a positive sentiment override, to demonstrate the difference, he can bring flowers home to me, and he's greeted with a kiss saying, thank you.
Amen.
Right?
Preach it, sister.
So, what's happening in happy couples and happy families is this word intimacy. And that word intimacy means, and you separate it just to get the idea of intimacy, it's not just physical intimacy, it's actually, the word means into me, see. Who allows you to see into me is me. You can't see into someone unless they allow you in. And the reason why they'll allow you in is because they trust you. Because there's a friendship, because they know that you see the best in them and that you're looking for the best and you're being intentional about that love. And so here's what Gottman describes this positive sentiment override or friendship as.
Gottman said the determining factor for the happiness of marriage for both men and women, look at this last statement, was the quality of the couple's friendship. So how strong is their friendship? Is there positive sentiment override in the relationship? Do you have a friendship with your co-workers? Do you have a friendship, good friendships in your relationships, with your church members? Do you have a friendship with your adult children? Right? Is there positive sentiment override in your relationship? Because that will determine the happiness of the marriage, is the friendship.
So,
This-
go ahead.
I would say this is one of the first places that Marlon asked me to start. He said, you know what? I know we don't love each other, but can we build our friendship again? And I said, well, what would that look like? I was a little nervous. And he said, let's start having fun. Let's start dating again. So that's what we started to do. And he said, I'm not going to talk about the problems. So let's not put the problems, not talk about them. Let's put them on the shelf and forget about them for now. And let's work on building friendship, becoming friends again, and dating and having fun. This is the biggest thing, missing link in marriages, is we get married. We had lots of fun leading up to marriage, maybe even 2-3 years after. And then maybe the children come along, and what happens? We forget how to have fun and build the friendship and maintain it. So this is really something that needs to be done. If you find that you're in this place where you feel like, oh, we never have fun anymore, think about what fun would look like and start putting love into action, putting it into action.
Never stop dating, right? That's the problem. We stop dating. Once we pursue and pursue. As soon as we get what we're pursuing, we stop pursuing, right? No, love is pursuing every day. It's pursuing. It's that constant dating, having that experience of something to build that quality friendship.
So this is the determining factor. And this determining factor, it's the principle that extends beyond marriage into the entire family. So it's not just the husband and wife, it's the entire family. So do I have a quality of friendship with my children? Because they're not going to be little children as long as they'll be big children, right? They'll still be your children. But we were listening to a conversation that was happening in the seat behind us when we were flying, and it was a husband and wife and their 2 little children, and they were very intentional with those kids. The children on an airplane, it's not the easiest thing, and so they were fussing and everything. But the way those parents were with those children was very gentle. I don't know, it was remarkable because it was a long plane ride. It was like 5.5 hours. So to have a child on your lap for 5.5 hours and to be so gentle and so patient, I was blown away. It was beautiful because it wasn't easy. And the children were, and they weren't putting a screen in front of them either. That's even harder. So they weren't soothing them by putting a screen in front of them. They were actually engaging with the children. I would encourage you, if you have little children, do not put screens in front of them. Not good for their brains, not good for their development, okay? And if you want to lose them at a very young age, put a screen in front of them. You will lose them, and you will never get them back. This is really hard. I understand what I'm talking about. There's a book called The Anxious Generation. Parents, I would encourage you to read it because you talk about what's going on in the schools, what's going on in the world right now. Those of you who are teachers, you understand what I'm talking about. But if you're dealing with children all the time, you do not want to put a screen in front of them. It doesn't do things good to their brain. It doesn't do good things to their relationships. They have a deprivation of they have social anxiety. Socializing is reduced. They can't look you in the eye. They can't socialize with real human beings anymore. And they have sleep deprivation. They have anxiety. And what else do they have? Addiction. And, those are problems that just go on and on and on.
So what is the screen taking place of in a parent-child relationship? What is it substituting?
A human interaction.
Right.
It's taking away.
And this is the biggest thing when we work with families and talking to parents. They'll talk about their children misbehaving. And I'll ask, how much time do you spend as a family? Well, we spend time, but not as much anymore because we work long hours and blah, blah, blah. So kids end up spending alone time, especially when they're beyond 12 years of age and on. They spend a lot of alone time without parents. So what do? They pick up the screen. That's their interaction. So just like I was saying, building friendship with your spouse to do fun things again, take time to make space to have fun. We still need to do this with our children. That's usually what's missing, is we're not making the space to have fun. Our kids, our daughter especially, she would constantly make bids to do things. She said, all we do is work. On Sundays, we have to work until noon, and then it turns out to be 3, 4 o'clock, and it's too late to do anything. This was her complaint, and she was right. We were more goal-focused than we were relationship-focused at that point with our children. All kids want to be noticed. That's huge, to be noticed and have togetherness. And these are the two things that are missing when a child turns to screens.
It's good. It's really good. I was listening to one child psychologist, and she was saying the opposite of depression is play. That children who are not playing, interacting, they're not having fun. And they're depressed. You get a depressed kid. Why? Because they're not really playing. They're just scrolling. They're being entertained. If you just put that in their hand, they want love. They want interaction. They want that. And they don't know how to get that filled. So they'll turn into a naughty kid. They'll try to do something to get attention. Or they'll just withdraw into their depression. And become very anxious. So, yeah, just put that out there, not to make anyone feel guilty, but to say there are solutions, and you got to look for those solutions. Oh, to take your phone and blow it up. No, that's not the solution, okay?
Is the phone ever going to go away?
It's not going to go away.
It's not going to go away, right?
But just to put that in the hand of a child and with no directions, no off ramps, everything is just, full speed ahead. You can do whatever you want. Wow, that's kind of really dangerous, right? You need to have some guidelines and direction and be able to put something in their hands in a way that they take control. And that gives them a lot of encouragement. So, okay.
Pastor has a comment or a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. How much is too much time, and where's the breaking point for addiction and not addiction?
So we spent a whole weekend doing seminars on this called Tackling Temptations of Technology, but each family will have to have those open conversations and how they're going to do it. But remember, when your children are little, you need to have control. You need to have control. Don't just put that in their hands, because they have no control. It's designed to be addictive. It's designed to be unputdownable for a child. So you need to have those controls in your hand so that you can see what they're watching and where they're going on that device. See, here's the problem. We think going outside is dirty. Go outside, you play, and you get into spiders, and you get dirt on your fingernails, and maybe you could fall or whatever, that kind of thing. I mean, our kids, they're adults now, but they're at home right now, and they were saying, hey, remember when we climbed up on the roof, and they did dangerous things. They were outside. And we think that a kid with an iPad or a phone in front of them, That's clean, and they're quiet, and they're not getting hurt. It's way more dangerous to leave them quietly in a corner with someone else who's way smarter than they are, engineering their thoughts and throwing stuff at them, and even the algorithms are more in control than the person who designed that, of where that child goes. It will always move them in a direction of addiction, and it will move them so that they can't put it down, and move them in a direction that's more negative downward than upward. So that's the hard part. It changes their brain. It just changes their whole sociability. So, yeah.
But Pastor, they've done research and they've said that children under the age of 2 should absolutely not have a screen in front of them, right? Unless it's like FaceTime.
Yeah.
When you're FaceTiming a family member or grandparent that's abroad, that's far away, you know, but not at all any other way under the age of 2. And then as they get older, you need to obviously have control, you know, like maybe 2 hours or, you know, an hour. But by the time they get to as a teenager, it's very hard to, at that stage, say no.
And
right?
control.
For you to control it, because kids are so smart nowadays. I mean, there was this one situation in the anxious generation about this girl that was 11 years old, and she had an Instagram account. And her parents found out about it. You're not allowed to get an account.
It's illegal.
At the age of 11, right? And so she deleted it. But then her friend said to her, hey, you can get that back, but you can hide it behind your calculator app. So when you open up your phone, then this Instagram app is hidden behind another app. And so I wouldn't know. You open it as a parent, you don't know, you just see all these apps, but there's so many ways that they can get around that, right? And that's when you can't go without it. That's when it becomes an addiction, right? And we've been at certain schools where they have a no cell phone policy at all. So the kids, when they come to the school, they have to put their phone, in high schools, into lockers. And their phone stays there, and they only get them at the end of the day. So the whole school is without a phone. And we've spoken to the principals, and they said the first week is awful because you can see the kids that are addicted to their phones, right? It's terrible. They're so restless and agitated and irritable, and you know. But then, of course, after 2 weeks, it's like it's a different school. They go past the lunchroom or the cafeteria, and they hear kids laughing. And they're socializing, and they're outside, and they're playing, and grades have gone up, anxiety has come down. And the behavior in the classroom is phenomenal. Whereas here, I know in Ontario and BC, they've said that there's no cell phones allowed in the classroom, right? That's the new policy, but that's useless. Because kids can put them in the back pocket. There's some kids that can text without even looking. So they look in thinking they're paying attention. The teacher thinks they're paying attention, but they're texting under the desk. Right? And if that phone, even if you put it on vibrate, if it's in their pocket or it's somewhere, they focused on that. And as soon as the lecture is done or that subject is done, the iPhones come out. And they're looking at their phones in between classes, or leaving the classroom to go and see, because they knew there's a message coming in. So they're going to go and check their phone in the bathroom. Right? So they've done research in this anxious generation. It's better for there to be no cell phones in the school at all. None. A phone-free school policy. So, anyway, we've gone completely off topic now.
But
sorry, yes.
To connect it with that, though, is Apple did a study where people were shown a phone, not just children, but people were shown a phone, and the areas of their brain that lit up were the same areas that light up when a person is in love. Just to look at a screen of a phone, that's craziness. So it's definitely stimulating some dopamine. Okay.
And I just want to say one thing. So you know, we're saying we're worried about our teenagers, you know, about our children being addicted to phones and, you know, being on the phones. But there's something to say for us too as parents.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many children, teenagers, 10-year-olds, 7-year-olds that have written and said, we don't feel loved by our parents because our parents are always on their phones, right? So the parents we as adults are just as much to blame.
Oh, yeah.
For getting stuck on our phones, so.
At the back. Quick comment there.
Yeah, for the children things, I need more education here. Let's say I work 6 times in a week. I get home, I'm half dead tired.
Yeah.
How often and how long time the children need it so we can build a good relationship?
How much of your time?
Yeah, like how offering time, like I work 6 times in a week.
Yeah.
And let's say maybe 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
So when I get home, I'm like half dead tired. I go to just take a shower, eat the dinner, and go to bed.
Yeah.
So only Sabbath I see the children and spend time with them. Is that enough? Or I have to cut my time off from work?
Yeah. They say with children, the days are long, but the years are short. It's you know.
When you
look again, they're out of the house and you won't see them again. But when they're young, they need you. They're so easy to please. They're so hungering for your attention. But then they get to a certain age, you're not there anymore.
They say kids spell love, Time, right? And so I understand that it's hard and that you're working 6 days a week and your hours are long. But what's that thing? Small things often.
Yeah.
Have suppers together. Right? And be intentional, like Doreen said. Be intentional and spend their time and then crash when they go to bed. Right? I know it's hard, like Mike said. And I was speaking to a couple downstairs. Right now, when your kids are small, your days are long.
Yeah.
Your days are long, your nights are long. It's not easy.
But once they grow up, you'll look back and you'll say, oh, I wish I spend more time with them. I don't know what it is. It just, you never get enough. At least I never got enough of it. I love my kids.
And then you have to repair as adults, right? Because, I'll give you another example. Everyone loves differently. Have you heard about the 5 love languages? Okay, so I'll just tell you quickly. My love language, very high acts of service. Way up, way, way up. The others are all way down. So, not just did I need a man of action, but I was a woman of action. Let's get things done. Food needs to be made. Dishes need to be washed. Laundry needs to be done. Homeschooling needs to be done. It was very structured and planned. So I was homeschooling my kids, but because I was so busy doing, this is what they saw of me. Because I was doing the dishes, I was doing the laundry, I was preparing something, cutting for them to get ready to do their homeschooling projects. Was I there? Was I physically there? Yes. But was I emotionally there, connecting with their hearts? No, I wasn't. And I didn't realize at the time. Now Mike and I are repairing and restoring with our adult children because they did not feel loved. Because I was too busy trying to get things done and too task-orientated and too performance-orientated because things needed to get done. Right? And so I was so busy doing, I wasn't being with my kids. There was no time to just be and to listen to their hearts. Right? So,
To get really specific, to give you an answer that's been researched, young children need at least an hour of intentional time with parents a day. And then as the kids get older, they don't necessarily need less. They still want more, but you can get away with a little bit less. So on average, they say if you spend quality, intentionally engaged, not distracted time with your children every day, they're most likely going to feel loved by you. That's if you're speaking their love language, right? And you're loving them the way they need to be loved, not the way you think they need to be loved. There's a big difference. Because I used to love Marlon the way I felt like I wanted to be loved. Same as Rene. Acts of service. I wanted him to be a man of action.
I didn't think acts of service was a love language. It seemed when he's taking out the garbage, doing the, how is it? Doesn't seem like physical touch. Now there's a love language, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So once I started loving him with physical touch, sitting down with him so that he wasn't chasing my back, right? Just like my kids did too. Same with Renee's kids. Then when I turned face to face to him and gave him that quality time, that's when our relationship started to change. And then he in turn gave me his time to do things.
Dishes.
Yes. And oh, I feel so loved. So, like Rene was encouraging, find out what your child's love language is.
Yeah.
There's a little quick quiz for different ages of children. And then have a conversation with them. What does quality time look like? What can daddy, mommy, what can mom, dad do with you to spend quality time? What would that look like? What would physical touch look like? Is it holding your hand and going for a walk? Is it sitting on the couch, putting my arm around you? Is it giving you, a shoulder rub when we're watching something together? You sitting at my feet, and I'll just give you a shoulder rub. Like, what does it look like? That's how you're going to love your kids. And if you only have 30 minutes a day and you love them, how they need to be loved, they'll feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help? Yeah.
Okay, the second question is wife, kids, and a husband. So this guy, let me put the same guy in the mirror. He's still working 6 hours a day, 10 hours, and he get home, he's half dead tired. Wife need to spend time with her, or him,
Yeah.
and the kids too.
Yeah.
So at this point, what does he do?
He takes a deep breath. He goes on the treadmill for 10 minutes, gets his energy up, and then he pours himself into his wife and his children. As much as you can, yeah.
We have a little worksheet. It basically is figuring out what's taking your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's stealing the time from relationship? And then once you figure out what's stealing your time from your relationships, figuring out what can I remove from my day to make time. So you can do this as a mental note. You may say, well, I actually have to work 10 hours a day to make ends meet. And if that's something that doesn't budge, it's figuring out how to make the people around you feel loved by you. So even talking as a family, hey, I want you to feel loved by me, and I admit I'm not doing a good job. So this is how much time there is in a day to care about your heart. How would you like me to do that? So ask those people in your life. what that would look like.
Do you all have a folder? And in the back of the folder is called 6 Hours to a Better Relationship, 6 hours per week. And one of the things is even like exercise now, we don't have to go for the gym for an hour, right? We don't have to, Now they're saying you can do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes before work, 10 minutes. Same with relationships. If we build those rituals of connection, what actually science is actually showing is if we can break those up, what if it's 5 minutes in the morning before you go to work? What if it's 20 minutes when you get home from work? What if it's maybe sending a text during work if you have a break, calling? So breaking it up over a period of day, we call them rituals of connection, where we can actually build moments of connection and friendship where we have those windows of opportunity. And then, as Arnold Schwarzenegger said, sleep hard and sleep fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great...
This is what the 6 hours to a better relationship looks like.
So sometimes we become human doings and not human beings, right? And if we're human doings, then we're just a machine. And we have to be intentional about that and how we use that time and how we use our energy and our money, our resources, all of that, and say, okay, I have some choices here, and how am I going to do that? I remember when the kids were little, I was listening to a family therapist as I was driving in my car from one appointment to another, and he said that men were asked this question: if you were to compare your family, is it the main event or is it a sideshow? And he said 90% of the men said it's the main event. But when he looked at what they were doing with their time, it was a sideshow. So I had to be intentional about that. And so I said, okay, I'm busy. Yes, I am. We all are. That's kind of the word that everyone uses. How's your life? Busy, right? So what did I have to do with that? I had to say to myself, let's make it the main event. And no one's going to make it the main event if I don't. I have to make it the main event. I have to let them know. So I'm busy. So I'm there and people are talking to me and I got lots of people, and my daughters would come to me and pull on my pant leg. Do they do that all the time? No. But as soon as they do, I would say, excuse me, just a minute. And I would go down to their level and I would talk to them. Didn't matter what was happening. It didn't matter who I was talking to. I would always go down to their level and give them time and listen to whatever their concern was. To this day, my children say, if I need anything, I will call you and I know you'll always answer. And I know you're always there. Doesn't matter where I am in the world or where they are, they know they can call me. That's important because now they're adults and they'll reach out any time of the day or night, and they do. So when they learned that from when they were little, because they said to me, no matter what, they said, I would hear other pastors' families say, oh, their dad is never there for them. But you were never like that. You were always there for us, right? That's what you want to communicate to them. Was I there all the time? No, not for everything. But when they needed me, I was there, right? And so if I was anywhere in their vicinity and I saw, okay, they're playing or whatever, I would get down to their level and I would start playing with them. If it was an hour, that's fine. If it was 15 minutes, that's fine. I wouldn't make it a marathon, but I would do the best I could to connect with them and just tell them. Every single time I would tell them, I want you to know I love you, right? That was hard for me because I wasn't used to that because I didn't grow up I grew up in an orphanage. So I never heard those words, but I wanted my children to hear that so that they would know. So that's a constant communication. So being intentional, as much as you can, will make them know that they're the main event.
The big thing is not to guess what your children need.
Yeah.
Ask them.
Ask them. Yeah. What did you say to your children at the end of the day?
Did you feel loved by mom and dad today? Sometimes they would say yes, and sometimes they would say no.
And what did you say when they said no?
Tough love. No. You say, so what did daddy do or mommy do or didn't do that didn't make you feel loved? So we talk about it. We ask them the questions like, so what would make you feel loved? So today maybe we didn't do a good job because we were busy and you didn't take time when I asked you to come play. So I say, okay, how can we make up that tomorrow? Let's see. You know what? I think 10 minutes of quality time is better than an hour of just being distracted time.
Yeah.
My wife, we be being present or being in the moment.
Yeah.
It's so true. My daughter and I, we'd be out shopping, and somebody would phone me, and I'd answer the phone. And then I could see she was agitated while we were walking around. And I said, sweetie, what's going on in your heart? She said, Mom, you know, when I'm spending time with you, I want all of you. I want all of your time. I'm jealous, and I don't want to share, and I want you to know, and I'm going to tell you now as an adult that when we're out together, please don't answer your phone unless it's an absolute emergency.
I feel the same way.
And because she said, I feel like then you're on your phone, you know, it might be 5 minutes, it might be 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I've missed out on time with you. So I turned to her and I said, sweetie, I'm so sorry, but I am so grateful that you're starting to speak your heart. Because she stopped bidding, we're going to talk about this later. She stopped making bids for connection. She stopped speaking what she needed. And I think I invited her to start again. So boy, has she started again as a 23-year-old. And am I ever happy? And she is so much happier too.
So what do the qualities of good friendship look like to you? We want to share the three components of friendship that Gottman goes into. The first one is making love maps, and we refer to that as I know you. The second one is I love you, nurturing fondness and admiration. And the third one is I'm here for you. So it's turning towards each other instead of away from each other or against each other. So go through those with us, those three. I know you. Say it out loud. I know you, I love you, and I'm here for you. So those three, if you take the, go ahead, Mo.
So there's this worksheet in your, the Sound Relationship House.
I'll put it on the screen.
And Marlon did mention that the walls on either side of this house is trust and commitment, which make up the walls of the house. But if you look at the foundation, the three things at the bottom of the house that hold up the foundation of the house is build love maps. So that's I know you. The second one is share fondness and admiration. That one is I love you. And the third one is turn towards instead of away. And that's I'm here for you. And those are the three key ingredients that make up a friendship. So if those three are lacking and the foundation is wobbly, the house is going to crumble. So that's why Marlon and Doreen said, let's work on the friendship. Let's build that friendship. Let's start dating again. Let's be curious about each other. Let's get to know about each other. Because if that foundation is strong, then the positive perspective, the managing conflict, making life dreams together, it's not saying there's not going to be any more conflict. Because there is. But the conflict will become more manageable and even less. Right? Did you experience less conflict in your marriage?
Absolutely, because the more, we're going to talk about this concept, the more we turn towards each other's needs. What happens? You're building connection, you're making the other person feel loved. So conflict goes down. So then we only have a small, so they say, is it 69% of conflict is perpetual, it's ongoing, same stuck cycle of conflict in most relationships. That seems high, doesn't it?
Or is high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when we repair, I mean, our conflict was like 100% when we were disconnected completely. I couldn't allow him to influence me or sway me or anything. Everything was a conflict for me. But when we repaired our relationship, that perpetual conflict, it's like 20, 30%. And it's something that we can accept each other's differences now. So it completely changes. So these 3 floors of the house, especially the third one, turning towards each other, this is where it breaks down in every relationship. But I'm getting ahead, we'll get there.
Okay. So, enhancing your love maps, this is I Know You. What is a love map?
So a love map is an internal roadmap that you have in your mind about your family members or your partner's inner worlds, and you express an ongoing interest in each family member, and you feel like each family member is really interested in knowing you. So it's that curiosity. You want to be curious. You want to know about each other and be curious about each other's worlds.
So it's really this question, how well do you know each other? Have you actually sat down and listened to each other? Why is this happening? Or what is happening in each other's life? And how do we find these things out? How do we find these things out? By being interested, by asking questions. But what kind of questions should you be asking?
Oh, open-ended questions. So W questions. What, when, how, where, maybe why? Why is one of those ones we encourage you to stay away from because it can create defensiveness.
Why did you do that?
Yeah. I did it because I wanted to, Mike.
Yeah.
Right? So you can act in a defensive way back.
But it comes across as though that doesn't make any sense that you're doing that, right?
Yeah, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But if you're using why, you have to use it with sweetness, gentleness. So it would be maybe saying, tell me why. Tell me why that's so important to you. I want to know. Sounds different than, why is that so important to you? Yeah, so use why very cautiously and with the right tone of voice. Or you could say, tell me more. Tell me more about that. So you have up there, Mike, not, do you like your new teacher? But maybe a better way would be, how are things going with that new teacher at school?
Oopsie, sorry, I don't know what I did, but I hit the wrong button. Okay, next
That's
one.
okay. Not, do you like your bedroom? But rather, how would you like to change your bedroom? What would you like it to look like? Or do you think about your future? Or how would you like your life to look in the next 5 years? So you see the difference when you're using those curious W questions, worded questions, and H, how questions.
So we have something called a Love Maps game, and you've got it in your handout there where you have questions you can ask each other open-ended questions. If you don't know what kind of open-ended questions you can ask, you can look at the ones on your worksheet, but you can also get an app called Gottman Card Decks, which is on Android or on Apple, and it's free of charge. And you can download that, and they have all kinds of questions there that you can use. And if you don't like the one that you're looking at, just go to the next one and the next one and the next one. And all kinds of questions, who is your favorite relative, name your best friend, and then just open-ended questions about, what was one of my greatest fears? What is one of your greatest fears? And asking those questions, it's really interesting how these stimulate discussions within a marriage and within a family. Where you start asking those kinds of questions and you find out a whole lot of things that you probably never thought that was going on in that person's life.
I remember when our girls were adults, we asked them this question: how would you parent differently when you have children compared to how you were parented by us? What would you do the same, and what would you do differently? Whoa, that was hard.
Don't ask a question you don't want to listen to the answer to, okay? Because
Or you're not prepared for
they're
the
not
answer.
prepared for it. Because some of the answers they'll give you, you never thought they thought that way, right?
Yeah.
I thought we were doing a really good job. Now you're telling me I did a bad job, right? It's like, just sit and I just hold my wife's hand and I squeeze and I say, keep your mouth shut. Just listen, and don't judge, okay? You learn a whole lot that way.
But this is a good app. Also, just bear in mind that it's not
Christian.
It's not Christian, so there are some, what do you call it, sections, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some parts of it that may not. And you just skip past it and go on to the next one. So this is what we're talking about. So enlarging your love map is having a deep knowledge of each other. For example, who are the main people in each other's lives, worlds, and what's stressing each other out, and what are each family member's dreams and hopes and aspirations, and be intimately familiar with each other's worlds. My wife is really good at this. So our daughters were living in other countries, and our youngest was in France, the other one was in Australia, but she kept up with all their friends, all of their friends. So she knew them by name, what was happening in their lives, what their work was, what their children's lives were like, all that kind of stuff. That's really good, because then they know that we're tuned into them and we're listening to their world. So they don't have their own little world and then our world and our attachment, but they know that we know their world in an intimate way. That takes time. So we'd have those conversations every day. So that's good. So we wanted to just do it. You want to?
Yeah, I was going to say, so what is the importance of knowing each other's internal world? So if I know more about my wife, can I meet her needs, desires, and wants? We have a lot of people that we say, well, we know each other. We've been married for 30 years. We know everything. But when we start doing these love map questions and asking them to go deeper, because a lot of times our communication is a little bit superficial. We're just talking about the weather, the things. We don't go into those deep heart questions. And the heart questions are what connects us, right, emotionally. So we want to go to deeper questions. So when we start asking.
We think we know what they, you know, about them.
So when we go deeper, just creating that love map really helps us to really understand them. Does everyone want to feel known?
Yeah.
Does God know us intimately? Absolutely. We want to be known. And now I'm going to give a little tip. This is for the men. So if you're sleeping, this is time to men wake up and write notes, okay? Why is it important for men to build a love map and to know their wife's internal world, what she likes and doesn't? Give you an example. Makes them happy, absolutely. So for 24 years, I thought that the best flower in the world for Valentine's Days, birthdays, anniversaries is what? Red rose is the language of love. So it's all a marketing gimmick, right? So I turn around and what do? I buy my wife red roses occasionally. And that's what I thought the language, that's the favorite flower. That's got to be the most romantic flower. Till finally, after 25 years, I asked her the question, hi, honey, can you tell me what your favorite flower is right now?
Yeah. It's a Gerber daisy.
What's a Gerber daisy?
Oh, there's one right over there. Actually, a few of them.
Oh.
Big flower with a big button center and a thick stalk. Oh, they're beautiful.
Strong and beautiful like you.
Aw.
So what would be your favorite color of Gerber daisy?
Oh, I like all colors, but
I know, you love the rainbow.
I know. I would say all shades of pink.
And is there a history why Gerber daisies? Like, what was some of the reasons that you picked that instead of roses or?
I remember the first time I ever saw the flower, and I was so shocked at its beauty. I'm like, that is my absolute favorite flower, and it's been my favorite since.
So What do you think I did on Valentine's Day? Buy her red roses? Why? What did I buy? What color? You guys were listening. See, man, if we listen to what they want, do you think she's going to feel more loved by me if I buy her a Gerber daisy?
Yeah, that's pursuing love.
Because they're going to feel that I intimately know them and that I've heard them. Because a lot of women say, my husband doesn't hear me, doesn't listen to me, so he still buys me red roses, right? So when we hear them, and then we act upon that word, and you know what? This is the men. The women, just close their ears for a second now, because this is what I want to get to you. Is not only is my wife happy and feeling loved and valued. Did you know that Gerber daisies are a third the price of red roses? I save a lot of money every year by buying Gerber daisies. So men, so if you listen to your wives, you will learn how to save money. Okay?
She'll tell you. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, but we want to give away a book. And this book is called Doing Life with Your Adult Kids, or Your Adult Children. And the subtitle is Keep Your Mouth Shut and the Welcome Mat Out. Okay, so this is for the couple that has had the first adult child come into their life. Is there anyone here who has just recently had an adult child, or most recently, an adult child come into your life? How? Yes? Lana? No? So if they became an adult, I'm saying, when do they turn an adult? 18, 19?
21.
20? So in other words, they're independent, they have a job, and they're not going to school anymore. And they're on, what's that? They don't have to be on their own, no. But you have an adult child. You got a 20-year-old. You got it. So actually Lana would be closer because she just has a newly adult child come into her life. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not saying that most number, I'm saying newly have. Because our transition into having adult children was painful. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Not just painful, but it was the most challenging thing in our relationship, in our marriage, was to parent adult children.
Because they don't listen to you.
Because it's not the same anymore. You cannot tell them what to do anymore. You can't, right? You have to completely change. You can try, but it's not going to work. You have to completely change the way that you parent, your method of parenting. You have to keep your mouth shut. You have to be supportive. You have to listen. You have to be their biggest cheerleader. You have to be irrationally positive. It's not easy, right? But this book really helped us.
Yes.
And even our children, when we read this book, they said something has changed.
We changed.
We changed, yeah.
Because we stopped trying to manage them as children. They were still our children, but they weren't children anymore. They were adults. Yeah, Lana? I think it's a good book because it changed us.
You know, it's equally as painful for our adult children as it is for us.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. So let's take, how much of a break? 5 minutes? Does that work? Or 10 minutes work for you? Just stand up, walk around, go to the washroom, and then we'll come right back. Okay? Does that work for us? Okay, so it's 3:52. We'll be back at 4 o'clock. Back at 4 o'clock.
Alvin's handed, I won't wear it. To find out. But no, I think he's still up there. But I think.
Okay, for those of you who are here, we'll give you a little exercise to do. You can ask each other these questions just to get to know each other, okay? What is on your bucket list that you haven't gotten to yet? And the second question is, what is it about your work that you like the most? Okay? Go ahead and ask each other those questions. Get to know each other. Okay, so how many of you had travel on your bucket list? Travel of some kind. Oh, okay. Someone, what about doing something adventurous? No? Like other than travel? What kind of things? Yep.
Plane.
You've never jumped out of a plane. Do you want to?
Well, when I was younger, yes. And now that I'm a little bit older, it's not like a huge desire, but
okay.
That's sort of what came to my mind. I do like doing adventurous things.
Yeah, yeah. What if
you guys can do it together on your anniversary?
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, what was that?
Maybe you could do it together on your anniversary.
Oh.
No.
You jump, I jump.
So what if you could do something and you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do? What would you do if you knew you could not fail? What would you do? Would it be something financial? Would it be something adventurous? Would it be something life-threatening? Would it be climbing Mount Everest? Going in a race? Doing public speaking? Sometimes, you know what? One of the greatest fears is public speaking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah?
Sorry.
People are scared. Oh, man, what if everyone's looking at me? So, asking these kinds of questions of each other, I think that's getting to know each other. What's happening in your life right now? What do you like the most about your work right now? You know, what are things that you really wanted to achieve in your life that you haven't gotten to yet? Okay, that's your bucket list. So the second thing we're talking about is nurturing fondness and admiration. That's I love you, and expressing that.
So, fondness and admiration is about communicating affection and respect in very small ways. So, express appreciation often because the small things do matter. And it could just be a touch, you know, or putting an arm around, or even just a wink across the room. Could be something small. And then often say things like, thank you, I'm proud of you, I really admire you, I respect you, I love you. And see only positive qualities and communicate them out loud. And then acknowledge and openly discuss positive aspects of your partner and your marriage.
So we want you to do this together. Take turns turning to each other, a family member, your spouse, and tell them one thing, even a friend, if you're only here with a friend. Just say one thing, one quality that you cherish in them, one thing that you admire about them, that you really appreciate them. Okay, go ahead and do that. people are doing this, though. Watch and see them talk about this. So you see families listening to each other, appreciating each other.
How did that feel? Hearing and telling someone what you appreciate about them. Does it feel good? So there's this activity, this handout too, it's called I Appreciate Activity. And there's different characteristics, but I want to encourage you to add an incident onto that characteristic. So let me give you an example. Love, you're a real good listener.
Thanks, love.
Okay, so I'm acknowledging him. He's a good listener. That's a good characteristic, right? So look at how it changes when I add the incident to it. Love, you're a real good listener.
Thanks, love.
And I really appreciate how you were able to spend time with Tane and really calm him down because he was getting so worked up, but you were able to calm him down and he fell asleep in your arms. And it was such a relief to myself and Joanne. Thank you for doing that.
Thanks, love. Yep.
Yes, you can ask questions.
Yeah.
I guess I'll stand up for this. Oh, I'll sit down. The compliment you're making, this is me personally, I don't know about anybody else, but the compliment that you're making to him.
Yeah.
I personally, and I've done this too much, now I'm just going to open up and say something that I've thought in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know how to accept compliments properly.
And
And I have to assume other people are like that, but I feel awkward, not just some of the time, all of the time, getting a compliment.
Very good.
How do you deal with that?
Oh, for years I felt the same way. I could not receive a compliment. I would put my head down. I would say, okay, right? Like, nah, it's not, I'm not really, whatever, right? Yeah.
What do you want?
What do you want? Yeah.
Yeah, are you familiar with rational emotive behavior therapy? It's going into, and there's a wonderful book, I don't think we have it here this weekend, but it's Telling Yourself the Truth by William Backus, one of my favorite books. So we have core beliefs that you really drive our thinking, our feelings, and our actions. This is cognitive behavior triangle. So but what those things, this think, feel, act, actually all that information creates a habit and it creates our thought processes, but it stores it in a belief. So we have a belief. So if I believe, for me, this is my example for me, my core belief is that I'm not good enough. So if I believe that I'm not good enough, and have I been told since a child, and all my friends and family was like, oh, you're not the sharpest pencil in the drawer, you're not the brightest light bulb in the ceiling, or maybe, all these little put downs, and we talked about contempt and last night, and this criticism. So after years, I was in a car accident when I was 5, and I had a brain injury. So I was very slow. Can you imagine starting grade 1 where your brain isn't quite processing 100%? So you come across as slow. You're the last kid in the class to do the exam. And people call you, oh, he's so stupid, he can't even, he's, special need. All these terms.
Retarded.
All these things, because slow back then, what did it mean? You were not bright, right? And I had to go to speech therapy. So I grew up with all these things, and my nickname, I shouldn't probably tell, because don't ever say this to me, but my nickname was Myrtle the Turtle, because I was so slow. But my brain just was, so I grew up feeling not smart enough and not good enough. So in that case, if my core belief, if I truly believe this, everything we have, the reticular activating system in the brain, it filters out, and what's called a listening filter. We hear what is being said with an interpretive, everything that's being interpreted is going to be in a perceptive, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. Even for example, even a few months ago, I'm in there, my wife said, let's make nachos, and I said, okay, great, I'll go in the kitchen, I started grating the cheese, right? I had the great, nice pile of cheese grated, and my wife comes in there, you used the wrong grater. So I'm thinking, what does that do in my brain? It's like, okay, I'm not good enough, not smart enough, I can't even figure out how, I can't even do anything right. So why even bother? So then my wife comes along after, so I'm getting my normal withdrawal because I'm feeling stupid and not smart, so I leave the room. But then I catch myself, because we talked about last night, that 10 seconds, we have changed our thought process, and we write our stories, and we start, catch, check, and change. So in this process, 10 seconds, I come back into the room and said, honey, I really appreciate that you're trying to help me with grating the cheese. However, I was just feeling very hurt, like I wasn't doing it right or good enough, and I was tempted to feel that I didn't want to ever help you in the kitchen again. So can you just help me understand, when you said I'm using the wrong cheese grater, can you help me understand what I was doing wrong?
I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. It hurts my heart to know that I hurt you. But you know what? This is a cheese grater, and it has bigger holes.
So what is this I'm using?
It's a lemon zester, like a microplaner.
So there's a difference between a lemon zester and a cheese. They have little grating things on little holes.
Yeah, there's little tiny holes, and your cheese is so big and fluffy, like big pile of fluffy cheese. But when we put it on the nachos, it'll go whoop, and then you won't have a thick layer of cheese. Whereas when you use a cheese grater, it's big, thick grades, and then you get a thick layer of cheese.
Okay, man, I heard you laughing. Do you know what a cheese grater and a lemon zester is the difference? just me. I guess I don't help enough the kids. But I'm interpreting things by what I hear because of my core beliefs.
And it doesn't matter how I say it, we take it and we twist it to what we hear. He heard criticism, even though I could have said, I walked in the kitchen, I said, honey, would you like to use the cheese grater? But he's like, he took it and he heard what?
Yeah.
He's stupid, he's not doing it right. Yeah.
So in a relationship, just kind of filter this down. So if my wife, Marlon, you're so brilliant, that was really smart what you did with that, and what am I thinking?
Yeah, this happened actually maybe 4 months ago.
No, I'm
I said,
not.
you are absolutely brilliant. That's a great idea.
No, it's not that great. So do we believe it? Even Mike, actually last night, we were late leaving, and Mike says, that was a great job last night. He was like, I don't feel I'm good enough. Yeah. Whatever I do, whatever I say, that constant belief is haunting. That's why it's so powerful to change, to capture those thoughts, bring everything out into captivity, and then actually look at, okay, is this truthful? Is this helpful? Is this really true? Am I stupid?
Yeah.
Is it true?
No.
Don't answer that. But sometimes if we feel that, it doesn't matter what anybody says, I don't believe it, right?
And we let it just bounce off of us.
Bounces off us.
Because we're telling ourselves we can't accept that, because that's not what I believe I am.
Oh, honey, I think you're so beautiful.
You must be delirious.
Why did she say that? I think she's beautiful, but did she think she's beautiful? Probably not. So in her core belief, it's like she's been told she's not beautiful, and she's, so if you don't believe it, doesn't matter how many people, you can't receive it. If you don't believe it, you won't receive it. You'll bounce it back, right? And what are you doing to the other person that gives you the compliment or the affirmation, or what are you telling them?
You're telling them that they're wrong.
Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't accept your judgment.
Yeah. So then we're actually offending
the
very person because of our
Yeah.
And then the other person, that's one reason, I think, and the other person is just this idea of humility. And we were talking about this. Is it okay to give your son a compliment or your daughter?
Yes.
Well, what if they get a fat head, Mike?
Humility is not thinking of yourself less, right? It's just, or less of yourself. Humility is really being honest about who you truly are, but not thinking yourself way better than other people, right? So you're able to serve people, but you're able to serve them better if you know who you truly are. If someone were to come up to Jesus and say, Jesus, thank you for healing my son. And he's like, I'm not really good at that, am I? It's ridiculous. Of course you're good at that. You're the master physician. You're the healer you're the creator. It's like, it wouldn't be right. It would be dishonest. But what do you say when someone pays you a compliment? What's the best thing to say? Thank you. Because that's honest to them and also reinforcing to you, even if you don't feel it. Or sometimes it's not like, okay, hey, you did a great job singing. Yeah, I am really good, aren't I? Right? That's kind of, that's not what we're looking for. Yeah, that's probably.
Yeah, you could say thank you for the encouragement, if it's something encouraging.
Yeah.
Thank you for the appreciation. Or just a simple thank you. And then practice not letting it bounce off.
One more third thing that I think that we hear when we do coaching is that it wasn't genuine.
Yeah.
Mike is always, he's a hypocrite, and he always says things he doesn't mean, so I don't believe him.
Right.
So, sorry, Mike, I didn't mean that as a...
Oh, no, I
just an example. So, but we don't, it's not genuine. You're so beautiful, what do you want, right? So when we're in a negative perspective, in the relationship, we talked about the negative set of override.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what kind of a compliment, I'm thinking negative, it's interpreted negatively. So again, if it's not genuine, or if it comes across as flattery...
Yes, flattery. That's what I was just...
Women, do you like flattery? No. Why? Why don't you like flattery?
It's not sincere. It's not true.
It's not sincere. It's genuine. It's usually somebody you're trying to manipulate,
Ulterior
right?
motive.
Ulterior motive. Yeah.
So we've grown up with this, So those are the things that I think kind of answer that question in around many ways. There's many things going on.
Is that helpful? Yeah, so it's really us rewriting our stories.
And I appreciate the question.
Hang on. It's like, yeah, you're right, I really am good. What if actually the compliment is true? Like you sit there and say, yeah, you are really good at music and all this sort of stuff. And what if you want to acknowledge that, like, how do you deal with that?
Just say thank you.
What if you, like you just said, like, yeah, I'm really good at that. Like, how would you do that in a way that...
if the other person says that to you?
Yeah, if the other person says that to you and you want to acknowledge that it's accurate, instead of like doing what I normally do is like, well, thanks,
Yeah.
How would you approach that?
Reframe that again. So
the compliment was you're a really good singer.
Yeah.
And you and then you jokingly went, yeah, I know, right? Like, but how would you approach it? Like, if you want to say, yes, I acknowledge that I am good or something like that, instead of it sounding conceited or arrogance, but you want to acknowledge it in a way that is healthy? How do you do that?
Absolutely. If you know that this is a talent of yours and you're good at that, say thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I feel appreciated by you telling me that, and it really makes me, feel more confident about my skills in this area, because I was kind of questioning them. I'm not sure that I'm good enough, but you affirm me, and I thank you for your affirmation. Right? It's not coming across as arrogant, but it's also saying to the other person that really we need appreciation. Right? We need affirmation from one another. It's just good for us. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be arrogant. It doesn't have to give you a big head or anything. But it can also just give you more confidence in your ability to do that. Yeah.
The one Bible verse that comes to mind is that we are to encourage one another and build each other up. The song goes for little kids we used to teach. So is it okay to encourage and build each other? Words of affirmation?
Yeah.
It's lacking in the church, isn't it? It's lacking in our relationships and our marriages. And our children, they're starving for words of affirmation and love, right? So be liberal with your words of affirmation. This is my son who I'm well pleased. Did the Father give affirmation to his son?
Yeah.
Yeah, does God give affirmation? You're my child. I love you. You know, everlasting love. I mean, he's constantly fondness and admiration towards you and me. And we say, thank you. I don't see what you see in me, but thank you for seeing it in me, and praise God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does it make you feel when somebody notices, say, that you're a good singer? Does it make you happy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you can just say, I'm so happy that you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So you can express the emotion that it makes you feel. I'm so happy you enjoyed it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And just word it that way. If somebody is a really good cook and people give you affirmation, but you have a hard time accepting it, you say, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Right? So just, yeah.
Yeah, I need education on this. Let's say this poor guy, his wife is doing everything to impress him, like how much she loves him. And this guy spend more time on video game. He don't see what his wife is doing. Is it the wife is still continue doing that, like taking care for the dishes, cooking, and the husband most of the time spend more time on a video game? Is it the wife is still continue do, or what the woman is supposed to do on this?
Is this a trap? I can only share my experience. And my experience with my wife, and we didn't share everything in our testimony this morning, but in our relationship, so something we were talking about commitment earlier, right? Do we make a contract or a covenant with our spouse when we get married? A which? A covenant. What's the difference between a covenant and a contract? One is based on performance. And if you don't perform to my expectations, I have the ability to what?
Break the contract.
Terminate the contract, right? For non-performance. It happens all the time. I do contract law. So that we do it. But what is a covenant? Pardon me? It's a promise. I promise to love and cherish you regardless. Does God make a covenant with us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happens when we don't love him back?
He keeps his covenant.
Does he still keep his covenant? Mm-hmm. So a covenant is my promise to my wife to love you. And when my wife left me and she was, you can't believe it now, but her words were not so soft and gentle.
They were very harsh, spitting nails, doing everything I could to make him not love me.
And what did I do? The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 14, verse 1, it says to pursue love. Just like God pursues us with his unconditional, this self-sacrificing love, when does he stop loving you and doing things for you? What point? None? Is that what we call unconditional sacrificial love? It's always giving without expecting. What happens when we start expecting back? What I see some nods. We're seeing this. So as soon as we start expecting back, is that love anymore? No, it's not love. It's not unconditional. So when we understand what the covenant is, so brother, I never stopped pursuing my wife. It took me 6 months to win my wife's heart back by loving her. And how does Christ love you? With an everlasting love, he draws us unto himself, right? And if we can do that and love them, I don't know how long I could have, it was not easy, but how long we were actually at 1 Week in Paradise. A lady came up to me after we shared our testimony, and she said, she was so excited to talk to me. She said, you know what? For 20 years, I pursued my husband. And finally, after 20 years before he died, he actually started to love me back. How long are we willing to pursue? How long are we willing to love somebody? I don't know. For me, it was 6 months. It could have been a year or two. But I was willing to pursue her and to continue to love her because as Christ represented on earth, what if I stopped loving her? What if she would have never got healing? What if that bitterness and anger towards God, towards me, towards her family, towards everybody, sometimes God can use me to be a representative of his love, and we can be the healing balm in the other person's life if we choose to. Is it easy? Absolutely not, because we all want to receive love. It's harder to give it. But the ultimate is, at one day, praise God, she chose to love me back. And what happens when there's one sinner repents in heaven and turns towards Christ? Is there a party in heaven?
Yes.
Amen?
So to add to that, does God tell us what he needs to have a relationship with us? There's lots of examples in the Bible of what he needs. So to add to your question is for that wife to start expressing what her needs are in the relationship. Yeah. And using the formula, the gentle startup formula last night. I appreciate, I need, talk about the incident, not the person. And then the last one is I need. I feel I need. Yeah.
Sometimes for a lot of people, that last one, I need, is very hard. Why is it hard for you to express what you need in your relationship? For your example, so in this case, in this scenario, why would it be hard for the wife to ask the husband and to tell him what she needs? Rejection. Bingo. Rejection. We're fear of rejection, so we don't express our needs because maybe we've asked once or twice or 10 times or 1,000 times like my wife had asked me. So sometimes you give up. Sometimes you say, why even bother asking because they're just going to ignore me, right? So sometimes we give up, or sometimes there's the fear of rejection. Yes. So we're afraid of asking what we need. But what if we asked it last night we shared about that formula, that gentle startup? Do you think when you express your need in a gentle, soft way, that the other person can listen? So we have to speak that the other person can hear, and we have to listen to hear the other person. So if we speak in the right language, yes, we can actually let the other person hear them and to share that. I feel, I need.
So when I spoke in a harsh, critical way, Marlon would always withdraw and stonewall.
Mm-hmm. That harsh.
Totally shut down. But when he started pursuing me with God's strength to endure what I was giving him, it was the most amazing, scary thing for me to see, because he would be standing there at peace, receiving all of this horrible stuff from me. He was at peace. He wasn't withdrawing. He wasn't being defensive. Nothing. Only through the strength of God working in your life could you ever put up with someone like me at that time. So, God gives you the strength. If you're in a tough relationship like that, he will give you the strength to be able to love.
And then if that doesn't work, just call Mike and Rene.
Just to add to all of that, if the person keeps on saying, I'm not interested, and keeps spitting nails at you, you can keep loving them. I know people who love someone who divorced them, but they haven't stopped loving them, right? They respected their wishes. Does God respect our wishes and say, I'll let you go, how can I give you up? But if you choose to, you get what I'm saying? So you can continue loving a person even if they just shut down. You can respect the fact that they've chosen to. If there's children involved, that makes it very, very hard. But it makes it very hard if that person is making it so that the atmosphere in the home is one that's very detrimental to the kids. Right?
There's abuse.
There's abuse. It's detrimental to everyone involved. So sometimes you feel like I can put up with this, but do I do this for my children? Right? So this is a situation where you do respect the other person's wishes, though you can continue to love them. But if they're going to go their own separate way, you also allow that. Right? Does that make sense? You allow the power of choice as much as God hates divorce. Yeah, he also hates murder. So,
I have a situation I am dealing with. A friend of mine, he is convinced that based on certain things the wife has demonstrated, the wife doesn't love him. And so he is the one making or taking the decision to divorce the wife. And yet he still insists that he loves her. And I find it difficult to reconcile, even though the wife is open for whatever issue to be resolved. He says, I'm convinced, or I know that she doesn't love me. I've also decided to end the marriage, but I love her. What kind of response, or how do we approach? I mean, what do I tell him?
I'm going to speak from personal experience. When I got to the point where I was convinced my husband didn't love me, I was in full rebellion. The Bible talks about rebellion as witchcraft, right? And why is rebellion so bad? It's because we reject everything. We reject their influence in our life, what they say, their thoughts, their opinions. We reject God. We reject authority. We reject everything. I was rejecting everything. And I was saying, I won't. So when we're in rebellion, we say, we won't. We're not going to change. We're not. It's my way or the highway. So this is really a stronghold, a spiritual stronghold, rebellion in our lives. And when we get to that point, it's really, I had to confess my rebellion to God and ask for forgiveness. I had to ask my husband for forgiveness. And you see, I went back and I traced my generational sins of my family. And I discovered bitterness was huge. And when there's bitterness, there's always pride and rebellion attached to it.
Always. Yeah.
Always, always. But when we get to rebellion, that's when it gets dangerous. And that's when we make decisions like what your friend is making.
And sometimes, how would I word this politically correct, but we talked about last night, we talked about accepting responsibility, 100% responsibility. If we're in a condition of Laodicean and we have a lukewarm state, and what is our condition? We mentioned it earlier in a sermon. If we are wretched, naked, blind, we don't see our condition. That's a church. We don't see our own condition, right?
Or we won't see it.
And there's the principle of the speck and the log. Who has the log? You have the speck. So we have this idea that we don't want to see our own failures. So my question, when it was in our relationship, when my wife didn't love me, my daughter asked me why mommy didn't love me. It was self-inspection. What is my fixing? After trying to fix her for 24 years and it failed. Okay, Lord, show me, maybe it's me. And Doreen mentioned this last night. My 10%, maybe that I'm in error in the relationship or at fault, I could be causing her 90% rebellion because of the way I'm treating her, saying. So the question, when I say, I thought I loved my wife too, until I learned what love is. And God's showing me, here's what real love is. This is what a godly love is. It's not a worldly love. And we can fall in and out of love. What are we saying? Love is a feeling. Is it really a feeling? It's a decision to act on principle, which we found in 1 Corinthians, which leads to feelings. But the principle is wrong, the feelings will be wrong, and the actions will be wrong. But if the principle is right and godly, will lead to healthy feelings and lead to healthy actions in our relationship. So for me, I had to do some heart searching, search my heart, oh God, and see if there's any wicked, any thought. any bitterness, resentment towards my wife? And have I truly loved my wife like the Bible is telling me to love my wife like Christ loves the church? Was I really doing that? The answer was absolutely, unequivocally, I was not. So I gave okay, God, I'm going to pursue love. Love never fails, you promised. Every day I said that to myself, love never fails, pursue love. And as I started to pursue my wife, and a lot of times, men, we pursue our wives physically. Are you hearing me? Do we pursue our wife's hearts? Do we pursue an emotional connection? Can you tell the difference between when I pursued you for 24 years versus when I pursue you now?
Oh, yeah.
And what's the difference?
You pursue what my needs are, what my desires are. You pursue and learn how to love me the way I need to be loved. So it's a totally different story now. You know me emotionally. You don't just know me physically.
Women know the difference. And when we can start pursuing the heart, maybe there's a reason why the wife doesn't love anymore. So what is the reason? So my wife, I asked her for that. She gave me 6 pages of reasons in my, But what's the normal reaction? We want to shred those, right? And we don't want to look at our own, we don't want to look at the log. We're content with looking at the speck. But let's work on the log and see, so what am I doing? How, what can I do to save my marriage? What can I do to make my wife feel loved by me today? And I can ask my wife, honey, what would make you feel, at the beginning of the day, honey, what would make you feel loved today by me?
And I would tell him, and it's acts of service is my love language. And I'd say, you know what? I would surprise him every once in a while, and I would say, you know what? I just want to be together. Let's do togetherness tonight. And he's like, you're speaking my love language. Are you sure that's what you want? I'm like, yep, that's what I want. So it's just understanding what. So that all we have to do is ask this one question to learn how to love each other better. What would make you feel loved by me? That's all you have to ask. And then start taking notes and pursue and put it into action. It's that simple, but it's hard. Why is it hard? Our pride won't let us because they hurt me, and the bitterness gets in the way, the unforgiveness gets in the way, and then our pride won't let us, and then we move into rebellion. I won't. Does that make sense?
And Rene shared a little bit about your daughter, loving your daughter in the love language that is our default. So if I'm acts of service, I'm going to love with acts of service. So my number one love language is physical touch, and my second love language is physical touch. And my third level, it's all physical touch. So I thought that's what love is about, affection and touching and that,
Yeah.
I feel loved, right? So I thought physical touch was just the language of love, and that's what everybody wanted, right? So I'm wanting to touch my wife, but it wasn't her love language, which is very disappointing to me, right? So, but what happens? So this is where what happens if somebody's been inappropriately touched when they're a child? And then you have a husband that comes along that's physical touch is their love language. Do you think it's the other person's love language? No.
It could have been when they were young.
But what does touch mean to them?
Abuse.
Abuse, fear, like so we don't know what's the backstory, right? Until we dug into it. So when we learned the backstory, and physical touch, I had to learn the difference between physical touch and the sex word. They're not the same thing. There's sensual touch and there's non-sensual touch. And what my wife needed was the non-sensual touch. And then every time I touched her, it didn't lead to eating pie. You hear what I'm saying, men? They need to be secure and to be touched appropriately, non-sensually, so that they can feel loved and so that they can give love. I mean, I've seen a lot of women nodding, they're resonating, right? So, yes.
We could go on and on at
Sorry.
this point, but this is a little side note. But it goes along with what you answered.
Yeah.
So for me, you can imagine, for me not feeling like I wasn't emotionally loved, but all my husband wanted to do was physically love me, it shut me down.
So I
And
thought I was
went
loving
into-
her.
I went into rebellion, like, no, you won't touch me. No, you won't, you won't, you won't.
But I can share some really good news. My wife did the love language test a couple months ago, and physical touch is her number 2 love language now, right? Amen?
Hey, look at this.
So when we love them the way they need to be loved, and love in a gentle, kind, the way asking them the way they need to be loved and how to be loved, what does physical touch look like? When I started doing that, game changer, right?
Emotional connection happened.
But do we have those kind of conversations amongst the saints?
No.
In a marriage? I didn't have the conversation for 24 years. Because we're afraid sometimes to have those difficult conversations, and we just zip it up, lock it away, and we suffer in silence. We suffer in a lukewarm marriage, but that's not what God wants for us.
No.
He wants us to have a hot marriage, amen?
Amen.
So does that help? Okay. What helped you in that answer?
Yes, so I think I have to find a way to melt. With God's, it's only God that can melt the heart of this friend.
Yeah.
And heal or let him overcome that rebellion. Because I think that word is so accurate because he is not willing to listen to anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah.
So this is one question you could ask him, if you choose. What is getting in the way of you choosing to restore your marriage?
Just add one more thing. What is the antidote for rebellion? Submission. Ephesians 5:21, be mutually submit to one to another. So a lot of men don't like to submit the authority, but we're actually counseled to submit one to another. So submission to authority or submission to mutually submission is the antidote to rebellion.
Thank you.
And that's something I struggle with. Like I tell people openly, usually quarterly, every 3 to 4 months, because it's a generational sin. It's in my genes. Bitterness, pride, rebellion.
That's why I like when you wear skirts.
Don't wear jeans.
It's in my genetics. I have to go to the Lord and I have to say, God, I haven't been doing my due diligence with my forgiveness. And I have to sit down with him and I have to wrestle with him. This last time, I was saying, Lord, I need freedom from this resentment. I need freedom. I'm giving you all my hurt and my pain. I choose to forgive. And I just couldn't let go. And at like 3 a.m, I woke up and I started praying. I said, Lord, do surgery now. I beg you. And he did it. You know, it's us learning to submit and to surrender at Jesus' feet. Really is what it is. Because this is spiritual rebellion. It's not just rebellion against our neighbor, it's against God too when we're rebellious towards our loved ones, our neighbor. Yeah.
That's really good.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anyone else had a hand? Okay. We want to go on to the next one, which is turning towards each other. So I'm here for you instead of turning away from each other and against each other. So family members make tiny bids for emotional connection. Do children make bids for connection? all the time. Is this child making a bid for a connection? Look, mommy, my car is going super fast. What is he saying? Look. Children will continue to ask and ask and ask and ask. So don't miss the bid, because that lack of connection is really painful. Children feel it, and adults feel it as well. They won't bid again. Usually adults bid once, and then they shut down, because they're like, oh, they didn't hear me, they're not interested, right?
But like Mark said, children will keep on, right? And so when a bid is made, look, mommy, look, daddy, look, nana, look, opa, look at my car, look how fast it goes. They're really asking for you to come down and play with them.
Yeah.
And really connect and see how fast the car is going. You know, and like they will keep on, daddy, daddy, come play with me, come play with me. They won't stop. They won't stop. Because kids want to be noticed. That's their biggest desire.
Yeah.
You know, so when our kids are young like that, I want to encourage you, stop what you're doing, drop to their level, and connect with them.
Connect, yeah.
And connect. And like Doreen said early on, an hour, was it an hour a day?
Yeah.
And as they get older, less than that?
With meaningful connection.
Yeah, having that quality, meaningful connection where you're getting onto their level and you're connecting with them. Because that's how they feel loved, because they want to be noticed. On the other hand, couples will make tiny bids for emotional connection too, but we will eventually stop bidding if our bids are missed, because it's too painful.
Sometimes bids are subtle. I want, as a man, a very unsubtle bid. I want a direct bid. Just tell me what you want, right? So why is it sometimes that women will make subtle bids?
Like, I'll make a subtle bid, like, was that the dryer's buzzer that went off?
Yeah.
Or did you hear that? That's a subtle bid. I don't like taking laundry out and folding it. Because for me, it takes too much time, right? There's other things that need to get done. But Mark doesn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
So if I say that's the buzzer on the dryer, did you hear the buzzer on the dryer?
Oh, yeah, I heard. Yeah. Do you want me to go and fold the laundry? I'll take it out. No problem.
But sometimes it's easier, like Mark said, for men, hey, love, the buzzer on the dryer went off. Can you please go take the laundry out and fold it for me?
Then I know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes we have a hard time expressing our needs. But if that's one thing that, you know, that is important, just to express it. Subtle bids don't always work.
They don't always land with men, okay?
Yeah.
So Gottman recorded how often couples turn towards each other during a meal. And I think this is a really important study. And what did he find? 6 years later, the couples who were divorced only turned towards each other 33% of the time while eating a meal together, whereas couples who were not divorced, they were still married after 6 years, they were turning towards each other how often? 86% of the time when they're eating a meal. So that adds up pretty quickly, doesn't it? Because if you're eating a certain number of meals a day, imagine a couple that is eating 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day over 6 years. If it's 2 meals a day, it's that many meals, 4,380. If it's 3 meals a day, it's 6,570. So what we're talking about is small things often. So you are either making deposits into or withdrawals from your relational bank account by turning towards each other. So, or not, turning away from each other. So turning towards is listening, being attentive to. Yes, hand up.
Thank you so much. I want to ask this question. Sometimes in dealing with your children, you want to be firm because of maybe an attitude they are showing.
Sure.
How can you do that whilst loving them or showing more love? Yeah.
How can you be firm?
How can you be firm and at the same time more loving?
And more loving.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Are they misbehaving? That would be my question. Yeah. So just like us as adults, when we're not getting what we need, we can throw our temper tantrums, can't we?
I've done many of them.
It shows up as silent treatment, withdrawing, or being expressive and expressing your point and your anger. Kids do the same thing as we do. But the difference is we expect our kids to respect us more than we sometimes respect each other or expect it from each other. So the one thing is, whenever a child misbehaves, it's usually always because of an unmet need or desire. Now, it can also be and if a child's needs and desires aren't being met, we too cause them to go into rebellion, where they're saying, you're not loving me, so I won't do what you say. So this is very common with children, and we see this with families come to us, my kids are misbehaving, I can't do anything with them. So we have to work with the parent and their heart. And because what the child is doing is it's triggering your core belief of I'm not good enough, I'm not important. If the child doesn't listen to me, well, you obviously think I'm not important to you, right? So then we react according to what we believe of ourselves. So we call it rubbing each other's raw spots or pushing each other's buttons. So do you feel like your kids push your buttons? Oh, yeah. So figuring out what does that button look like in you, and how can you rewrite your story towards your child to say, maybe my child, maybe I am not loving them emotionally, and that's why they're misbehaving. So I need to rewrite my story about their behavior towards me, that I'm not going to take it personally, and that my child does love me. And I know they would listen to me, but I need to figure out why, what's missing in their life that they're behaving this way. Unfortunately, parents, 86% of parent-child conflict is the parent's fault. We are responsible for our kids' behavior.
A lot of times in our marriage and with our children, we had this idea that we parented by behavior. Performance. Is our culture set up for performance? Everything's performance. How well do you do at school? Got an A, whatever, good job. We give them accolades, right? If they behave well in church and they're sitting quietly, we reward them. Like, everything's about performance and about behavior.
Yeah, if you do what I say, I'll love you.
Yeah, so, and we've got, is that our picture of God? Is our view of God, Mike, does it matter how we live and how we treat others? How does it affect our relationships?
Hugely, hugely. Yeah, our picture of God is going to be either healthy towards ourselves and towards our relationships, or it's going to be detrimental. So if we view God as just wanting us to sit still and listen, that's detrimental. Or does he want to engage with us? See, what I've noticed is I can watch when children get up in the morning, they want your attention. They just want your attention. And when you get up in the morning, you're just getting up as well. And so you got to give your attention to other things, getting the breakfast ready, getting yourself ready, getting ready for work, all of those kinds of things. And they're happy trying to get your attention. But the more that attention is not given to them, it will transition over from happy to I'm going to be rebellious. Not because they just want attention, and it flips, and I can watch it. Once you become aware of this, you can watch it happening, and you can say, am I listening or am I expecting behavior? Am I expecting behavior because I just don't have time to give them right now, right? how do you negotiate that? And that's an important thing. First thing in the morning, what we do, we have our daughter is living with us, and she's got 2 little ones. There's a 1-year-old and a 1.5-year-old and a 3-year-old. Two little boys. They come into our room first thing in the morning, and they say, Opa, I want to play, I want to play, I want to play. Play with me, play with me, play with me. Okay, I know that's going to happen every morning. It's not a surprise to me. I get up early, I read my Bible, and I know they're coming in. I can predict exactly when they're coming in. I know I have to get off to work. So I'm ready for them. First thing is I pick them up in my arms and I say, I just love you so much. I just love you. And they just take it in. They just take it in. And then I sit down with them and I say, let's pray to Jesus. And I pray over them. And then I say, what do you want to do? Do you want to play with your monster truck? Do you want to play with, and we sit down and I play with them for 10 minutes. Before I do anything on my own thing, I play with them for 10 minutes. And then I say, now we got to get breakfast ready. You going to come and help me? And then we go and we do it together. And so they're feeling acknowledged, but they also recognize that they're a part of the home and they're a part of getting life ready for the day. And do they make mistakes? Of course they make mistakes. Of course they're going to make a mess. It's easier for me to get breakfast done on my own. To have them help me takes 10 times longer. But it's okay. I let them do it because they're going to learn sometime. So why not let them learn at a young age? And I'll tell you, it's getting faster. It's getting faster because now they know the routine every morning. Yeah.
That is a great example of turning towards.
It has to be intentional, though. Like, I have to be prepared for it. Otherwise, I get overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if our view of God is harsh,
yes,
and he's looking to punish us, and he's watching behavior, is God that way, or is God a relationship disaster, and he speaks harshly, and he has a harsh, and he's waiting for you to catch you doing something wrong? But some of us have that view.
Yeah.
It's been taught. So what is God? He's gentle.
Yeah.
He's trying to catch us doing right.
That's right.
He's encouraging us and building each other up. So, because man looks at the outward behavior, the appearance.
Yeah.
What does God look at?
The heart.
So what we want to do with our children, we want to start looking at their heart.
Yeah.
There's a great program that we did is emotion coaching for children, and it's really identifying if there's a behavior, instead of focusing on the behavior and trying to modify the behavior, what do we want to do? God wants to give us a what? A new heart.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're forcing behavior modification, they're going to lead to rebellion. So if we can get to the heart, and what's the heart of the matter? What's the heart? What's going on in the heart? And then having those conversations to learn what's in the heart. Because if we can get to the heart, the behavior will change itself.
Yeah.
We got to reverse that. We're trying to go backwards. We're trying to modify the behavior, but what we really need to start is getting to the heart in the relationship.
It's so true. So we train our child's rebellious behavior, is what we do as parents. So the longer we let the rebellion go on by not caring about their heart, the harder it's going to be to undo the rebellion. So a really good way into the back door of your child's heart to turn off the rebellion is to go through a forgiveness process with them.
Yes. Yes.
Take them and say, you know what, sweetie? I can see I've been hurting your heart. And then list every way that you know of and ask God to remove any blind spots that you're not seeing in how you're hurting your child or your spouse or your friend. This isn't just... And then confess them and say, will you forgive me for this? And then imagine how you made them feel emotionally. I don't know if you have those worksheets on forgiveness. Do you have any in there?
Yes, how your spouse is hurt and how individuals
yeah,
have hurt
so
you.
there is a worksheet there, and you can do it for your child. And that is a great way to partner with God in breaking the rebellion and giving that child a chance to accept your forgiveness and your repair journey with them. It works beautifully, but if they're in full-on rebellion, they may say, no, I won't forgive you. So the sooner you start, I would get going on it.
There's another thing that may be more subtle that the Bible talks about this, there were two sons, and the master asked them to go do some work. What did the one son say?
I'll do it.
And then the other, but did he do it?
No.
So what is that example? That's an example of quiet rebellion. We say we're going to do it, but we don't do it. We quietly rebel. So for an example, in our marriage, light bulb. There's an example.
Honey.
Yes, honey?
In our foyer, the light bulb in the stairwell, the light bulb is out. It's been out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I noticed that last week.
You noticed it.
Yeah, be careful when you're walking in there. So
Would you change it, please?
Sure, I'll change it.
Another week goes by. Honey, I almost fell down the stairs in the morning when it was dark.
You should be more careful, sweetie. Do you have your iPhone, a little light on your iPhone? You should have just...
The light bulb is still out.
I know, I said I would get to it.
When are you going to get to it?
You know, would you just stop nagging? You just nag. I said I would do it.
Nagging.
Yes. Just, you know, no.
You are...
I'll do it. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Another week goes by. I give him one more chance. The light bulb's not changed. I stop bidding. I stop making a bid, this time for support, not emotional connection. I don't want it with him anymore because my mindset is saying, he doesn't love me. He doesn't care about me. I'm not important. That's how I lived my life. You know, I'm not important is what I thought.
I'm going to say nobody's going to control me and tell me what to do.
Quiet rebellion. So I go out to the garage, I get the ladder, and I bang it open on the platform of the stairs, and I stomp up, and I change it, myself.
It's about time. If you would have done that, stop nagging for the last 4 weeks.
Unbelievable. So this is what we say, know how to stop the nagging? Turn towards each other's bids and put them into action.
Oh, I thought you were going to say do it yourself. So turning towards bids.
The nagging will stop 100% when you turn towards each other's bids and you put that bid into action.
Now that we're in positive sentiment override, how does that look today?
Well, now when I say, honey, the light bulb's out.
Where? Hey, you guys got a ladder in the church? I see a light bulb back here.
And then sometimes he'll leave work and he'll say, you know what, I changed the vanity light bulbs in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, I didn't recognize that they were even out, right? So he fulfills the bid before I even ask.
Oh, does that make you feel loved? If somebody actually intentionally does something without having to...
That's the ultimate turning towards each other's desire, emotional connection, or support bid. It's doing it before we even ask. That creates huge love. And that's what my husband was doing when he was pursuing me and winning my heart. He was doing all the things that I wanted him to do, and I wasn't asking him. He was just doing them. I didn't have to ask him to do anything.
I know, you stopped nagging.
It was incredible. So what did it do to my heart? It was like pumping life back into it.
Yeah.
It was an amazing thing.
Yeah. Good.
So Marlon was really caring for Doreen's heart. It's one thing about having knowledge and knowing and doing the right thing, but it's another thing about doing for the heart. Does that make sense? To get back to your example of how do you be firm and love at the same time, it's very difficult to go to a 3.5-year-old's heart when they're having a complete meltdown and throwing a complete temper tantrum, right? And misbehaving and kicking and screaming and yelling and throwing things and hurting their brother. That is very difficult in that moment because our head is saying, this is not right. Right? And so the more they do it, because of their head knowledge, we ourselves become dysregulated.
and what's going on with you. So our emotions start going up, and we start yelling, or this is inappropriate, stop behaving, just stop it. And do you want me to give you something to cry about? Right? Because this is the head. This is what we're so used to. We're so used to going to the head and to going to the behavior and going to performance. But it doesn't matter. How do we go to the heart? And this is where Jesus comes in, right? To go down to their level and say, I can see that you are really angry right now. I'm sorry that you're feeling angry because your pancake broke in half, or you didn't get enough syrup on the pancake, or whatever. And then just to go down to their level and just to pick them up and just to hold them. Right? That is love in that situation. I'll give you another example. Not with our toddler grandson, but with our daughter, who's been in France. And so she came home. She's been with us now for a month before she continues with her travels. But when she was in France, she loves cooking. And so she came home and she wanted to make us French onion soup. And she wanted us to sit together as a family and have dinner together, and she wanted to cook for us. But she was getting over jet lag, and so she slept the afternoon, and so she didn't get round to making the soup in time for us to have our second meal. Now, usually, we only eat 2 meals a day, right? And so our eldest daughter has got used to that. So when she made a bird to make soup for us and for all of us to eat together as a family, my eldest daughter said, it's too late because you slept all afternoon, and I understand you were jet-lagged, but Mom and Dad we usually only eat 2 meals a day, so you'll have to wait. You can do it tomorrow. Right? That's head knowledge. We only have 2 meals a day. We don't want to eat late at night. It's going to affect our sleep. So let's do it tomorrow. But she was so used to connecting with her friends and with the family, with her boyfriend's family in France, because it's different cultures. So they would eat later at night. They would connect. They would eat together, spend time together. So I had to now go to her heart. Right? So she went downstairs. She needed a moment. She went downstairs. I said to her, McLean, I really appreciate how you wanted to make a meal for us tonight. How you really wanted us to enjoy your French onion soup and to taste it. So I want you to tell me right now, and it was probably about 4:30, what ingredients do you need? For me, for myself and Dad to go and get, so you can make soup for us, so we can eat soup tonight together. Because I'd like you to cook a meal for us, and we're going to eat tonight together. And she said, but Mom, it's already late. I said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just tell me what you want. We're going to go get the ingredients, and you can make French onion soup for us. What do you think my daughter's reaction was after I said that to her? Do you know what she did? She burst into tears because she felt understood and she felt loved. So Mike and I went, we got the ingredients. She made delicious French onion soup.
That's very good.
She served it to us. We ate together. It was after 8 o'clock at night.
That's late for us.
That's late for us. But my point is, does that matter? Does it matter that we're eating at 8 o'clock or 8:30 at night for one night? Does that matter? No, it's not going to hurt us. And if we do get indigestion, that's okay, because I was listening to my daughter's heart. And she felt loved and she felt understood, right? And she felt important and she felt valued.
Yeah.
And that was okay for me to have indigestion and not to sleep okay. Does that make sense?
Amen.
But you
it's
didn't have indigestion, did you?
No, I did. But
Oh, you did? Okay.
But can you see what I'm saying? Because my knowledge is saying, and this is what my eldest daughter's saying, Mom and Dad only eat 2 meals a day. So it's too late. She wasn't wrong, right? I was saying, okay, no, we have to eat 2 meals a day. We can't eat too late at night. It's not good for you. That's all knowledge. We know that.
Yeah, it's our usual routine.
So you don't do it. But what was more important?
Yeah.
Right? It's okay.
So you were asking yourself, are my rules and my goal more important than relationship?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Doreen. And more important than her heart. Right? Is she feeling understood? More important than the 3.5-year-old who's throwing a temper tantrum, who's screaming, who's shouting, food is flying. Let me tell you, it's very difficult to stay calm in that situation. Very, very difficult. Right? It was very difficult for me knowing that I could possibly have indigestion and not sleep well, but that didn't matter. It didn't matter because my daughter felt understood. And when I picked up my 3.5-year-old grandson and said, I'm sorry you're feeling so angry right now because your pancake broke, and just holding him. Because I can't tell him to stop or to change his emotion just to stop.
You could spank him.
I could spank him,
But is that...
I could also say to my daughter, who's now, I can see she's getting dysregulated because this is not right. Her son shouldn't be behaving this way. Okay, Joanne, go. It's okay. We've got him. Right? What I'm saying is we're so focused and so trained to go to the knowledge, to the head. Right? And the longest journey we'll ever travel is the journey from our head to our heart. And it's only 14 inches. Right? But that's the longest journey. So I want to encourage you. Find out what your children, what their love languages are. And love languages will change. Find out what they are and find out how you can really care for their heart.
So what I hear you saying is that if we're not turning towards each other's bids from the heart, the person's going to know if we're turning just from the head, because we might only turn towards that bid for a few weeks and then we stop. But if we're turning because of our heart, turning towards them and wanting to love them, it's going to be a lifelong love habit that we're willing to turn towards and do.
So what does that half-hearted turning towards look like?
Oh. Any examples? I have some, but what about you guys? What would a half-hearted turning towards someone look like? Do you feel like you have somebody that has done that half-heartedly?
Well, honey, would you like to go to a hike tomorrow?
Okay.
Doesn't seem like you really want to go.
No, you want to go for a hike. We're going to go.
I know I want to go, but it doesn't seem like you want to go.
I said I would go.
I know you would go, but then you're going to be complaining the whole trip. Are we there yet? Are we going to be?
I will not.
We'll just have an attitude. No, I don't want to go. We're not going.
I said I would go.
I know you said you'd go, but
Let's go.
You're angry. Look at your tone right now.
Is that half-hearted? Did it seem like I really wanted to go?
No.
No.
So what would be a redo? What would it look like to turn toward enthusiastically or with your heart? Right, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So I would show enthusiasm. Okay, let me turn on the enthusiasm.
Yeah. Hey, honey, would you like to go for a hike tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I saw the weather. It's supposed to be really nice out.
Oh, good. So, well, why don't we get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, we'll beat the traffic.
Oh, could we maybe leave at 9 and you could
Okay.
still make our Sunday morning pancake breakfast for
okay.
me?
And then maybe you can make some lunch and we can eat up on top of the mountain.
Yeah, what would you like? Would you like our apple, take our jackknives and eat our apple up there? Or do you want a sandwich?
How about some peanut butter and honey sandwiches? Because the honey reminds me of you, and the peanut butter kind of crazy and nutty like me. Makes a perfect sandwich.
I can make you a peanut butter and honey sandwich.
Okay, that's fun. I'm looking forward to it.
So, you know that restaurant in Canmore?
Oh, yes. Our favorite restaurant. You want to stop?
Yeah, could we?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Okay, sounds like a good day.
Yeah. So if we don't feel like turning towards the bid, is it wrong to turn towards the bid? Is that deceptive, or is that what should we do? A lot of husbands say, "Oh, I don't. What if I don't want to turn toward? If I don't feel like it, what do we do?"
You make an excuse.
No excuses.
No excuses allowed.
What we want to do is be honest.
Yeah.
But what if I truly love my wife? What if I'm really interested in her? Do I want to do the things she wants to do?
Yeah.
Even if I'm not really wanting to do it, I still want to do it because it's important to you.
If it's important to me, is it important? So if I do it with all my heart, what am I saying? I'm interested in you and I love you. I care about you. Yeah. So the second option, it shows that really that she cares about me, she loves me, she's interested in doing, because really I'm saying I'm interested in you. And what you're interested in, I'm going to be interested in, because I want you to, we're going to blend our lives into becoming one. So what she likes, I'm learning to like.
Yeah, so many couples that we work with, they have separate lives. So he has his hobbies, she has hers, her circle of friends, his circle of friends. Maybe on the weekend they might get together with mutual friends, but they really don't do a whole lot together anymore. And it's all around the breakdown of turning towards bids. Yeah. Oh, so we want to encourage you, if you want to love each other better over time, start asking yourself, how do I bid? Am I subtle or obvious bidder? And I think there's a worksheet in there that you can work through. It's called Turning Towards Bids. Discover how you can get better at bidding. And if you've stopped bidding, what would it take? Have the conversation. What would it take to start bidding? It's usually creating a safe space, meaning no criticism, that the other person is turning towards your bid as best as possible. And it might be a delayed turning towards. So if you can't do it now, make a time, put your phone alarm on, and make sure it happens.
Good. If you have any questions, just going to throw this up on the screen and then we can close. It says, happily married couples turn towards each other instead of away, and they live by the motto, listen to this motto, when you are hurting, my whole world stops and I take care of you. So you're listening to the other person's heart, listening to where they are at, and being able to hit the pause button to listen. Any final comments or questions before we close? Yes, Hallie.
Oh, that was loud. I just wanted to say thanks for taking the time to tell us about your experiences about love and giving your advice and wisdom. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. There is a quick survey feedback form that's in your things there. And if you want to, you can hit the QR code and give us your feedback. It's just a quick survey. It's very short, asks you a couple of questions, just so that we get some feedback and it helps us to improve. And I've kind of been putting these on the screen throughout the weekend so that you get it in your mind. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to share. And we really do appreciate you taking the time to do that. Any final comments?
Any takeaways that you're going to take home with you and start putting
I
into
really
action?
appreciate the participation that you've had over the weekend. This has been very good from last night, this morning, and now. It's been good. Absolutely. Oh, yes, we'll be back in the fall, not to do this program, but to do an evangelistic series. I hope you invite your friends. I hope you have some Bible studies, maybe people pray for. This is what I used to do. I used to pray that the Lord would send me at least one person a day that I could share my faith with. He does it. He does it. And you can share your faith in so many different ways. And he will give you ways so that you'll be strengthened in sharing your faith. And if you want to pray this prayer, ask him to send you someone who wants to learn about the Bible. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know it all. But if someone says to you, hey, there's something about your life, tell me about you, and you start sharing your faith and what Jesus has done for you, and they say, and you say to them, or maybe they'll reach out to you and say, as someone said this week to me, they said, someone asked me to do a Bible study with them. I don't know how to do a Bible study. And then they start listing all these things that they're going to do. And I said, look, you don't have a degree in theology. You're putting way too much pressure on yourself right now. This person, all they're asking you to do is sit and read the Bible with them. And here's a structure you can use, and maybe this will work for you. If it doesn't work, try something else. But let God lead you. And he was so excited. So excited. So pray for that. Yeah?
Thank you so much for this seminar. I would say that there's a lot to take away, and one of the things that I would love to take away is your humor, Marlon and Doreen. I would love to take that humor with me. So my question is rather directed to you as well. I'm wondering, how do you generate an environment where you can have a good sense of humor in your family and to just nurture each other with that kind of humor? You know, how does it happen, and how can you consistently stay in that place?
So creating more lighthearted conversation. Yeah. So there's that fine line of it turning into sarcasm, right? Where somebody is the brunt of your humor. So I hear you saying you don't want to create a sarcastic environment. Yeah, so practice makes perfect. So to be honest, Marlon wasn't a humorous guy when we first got married.
It's hard to believe, right?
He wasn't.
Very serious.
But when we restored our marriage, I'd say it came out because he had a happy heart. So a happy heart brings out that light kind of conversation where you can laugh together and yeah. So it's more looking at situations. Did you study how to be humorous? I never asked you.
No, it's part of the repair process. So we talked about the positive sentiment override versus the negative sentiment override.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're in a negative perspective, is it hard to have fun?
Don't even try.
Don't even try, because everything be interpreted in
That's when the sarcasm comes out.
Right. So when you take care of all these three principles that we talked about today, basically building that friendship of love maps, getting to really know each other, getting to know what kind of sense of humor I can get away with and what not, what she finds funny and what's not, turning towards each other, and that's powerful, and expressing fondness and admiration. When we do those three things, it goes into a positive perspective. And we start having fun again, right? When we chose, my wife loves adventure. So one of the things to be lighthearted, one of the things on the list was that, I was too serious and not having fun. So I decided, let's start having fun. That's just life is too serious sometimes.
So one thing we started to do as a family is playing games where there was no win-lose. Right? We just didn't keep score. We just had fun. And that created laughter. And it put us in a positive perspective. What else did we do? Oh, we started, for example, we were big bikers, meaning bicyclers. We did downhill and cross country. And I fell off my bike and I got a big brain injury, and it took me probably up until 3 years ago to really recover from it. So I went out biking again, trying to desensitize going down steep hills and all this, and I hit my front brake, and I literally did a brake stand. I was like this, my back wheel in the air. My kids looked at me, and then they just started bursting out laughing. Like I wasn't intending to create humor, but what created the humor was being adventurous, being willing to go out of my comfort zone now and do things with my children and give them a big laugh. They still talk about that today. It's like, do you remember that time you almost went head over heels again? It was like slow motion, and they talk about the story and they laugh. And so doing adventurous things creates lightheartedness.
And Rene mentioned it last night, rewriting our stories. Now that we've rewritten our stories, we can talk about our experience. These are everything we share is actually real things that happened in our marriage. But we now, because we've written our stories and look back on it, we can learn them. Are these things bad or good? Actually, trials and tribulations actually is what creates connection if we know how to deal with it properly. So if we can, for conflict, we didn't get to it today, but Gottman actually says in some of his new research is that if we can maintain positivity in conflict, that'll get us through. So when we're having conflict, Mayday, Mayday, or we try to, or I'll start singing or do some humor and try to break the ice and try to maintain that positivity can go a long ways in keeping the relationship in a good, healthy spot.
It's so true. And this is where we have learned how to be good forgivers. We've learned how to be good repairers through forgiving each other and showing up and saying, I can understand, this is my 100% responsibility for the pain I've caused you. And this is how I made you feel. Will you forgive me? And then we have a discussion about what the need was, so that if it happens again, we just realize we go to the need and we fulfill the need to diffuse the conflict. So there's a 5-minute rule to manage conflict.
Okay. So if you haven't filled out when the QR code, there is a piece of paper with the actual survey, quick survey. If you want to write an answer, you can write whatever you want to respond, and you can hand those in to the pastor, and we'll get those in. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Thank you, everyone. Yes? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're very welcome.
We're definitely not celebrities, but thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for the encouraging
It's
words.
interesting that you say that, Shelley, because yesterday he was wandering around trying to find the men's washroom last night after the long trip from Toronto. And I said, Mike, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm trying to find the washroom. I said, oh, it's over that way. And he goes, okay, thanks, Nick. And I said, that is the host of It Is Written Canada. And I just called him Mike.
And I just called you
Actually,
Nick.
Hey, Mike. So I guess we're buds now.
We
and
are
that's
buds.
the thing. When you come
We
to
are.
Westminster, you become part of the family, right?
Absolutely.
So you guys are honorary members of the family.
Thank you.
Because in the Italian culture, you can check out anytime you like, but you may never leave. That's the thing. So thank you for what you did today. We'll have membership transfers for you available outside so they become part of our family. Did you guys appreciate that? Was there anything, let's see, was there anything, so did you take something away from this seminar? Right? Put up your hands. For those that took something away,
praise
okay?
God. Praise
Was
God.
there anyone that didn't get anything out of this seminar? So that makes me look good. No, because we want these type of seminars where it influences the congregation, influences our community, and they appreciate it and they get a blessing out of it. Makes us, all of us, grow spiritually. Because we're all in the same business, is to reflect the likeness of Jesus Christ, that character. So thank you for all of the material that you shared. You have a wealth of information, and I know you're coming back in September, so that's good. That's part of that. You can check out anytime you like, but you can't leave. You're coming back. But I'm thinking of another program maybe next year, because I know you'll be busy this year.
Sure.
And I'm hearing things about parenting and children. I think we kind of open up a box there. So this could be something that we can develop for next year. What do you say, Mike?
I think that's an awesome idea. That's an awesome idea. We love working with Marlon and Doreen, as you can see.
Mutual.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been
yes, and thank you so much. It's the first time I've met you guys. And they're just very genuine people, as Jelly just said. And so it's almost like I've known them for years. So thanks, Marlon, and thanks, Doreen.
Hey, you're welcome, Nick. Or is it Mr. Nick?
Sorry?
Mr. Nick?
Mr. Nick, yes.
We've
got. When you really get to know me, you'll call me Giuseppe, but that's another story, okay? That's another story.
We've got 2 books we want to give away, okay?
Okay.
And one of them we gave away last night is called The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. The other one's called Created for Connection. I'll let you guys decide.
So who has been married the longest? So 30 years? 40 years?
Oh, we got some. We got some troopers.
35? 35? 36?
32.
32?
No, you're too young. You're too.
How many years at the back?
Pastor's trying to figure out if it's 32 or 33. That's not a good sign.
33 at the back?
33 in the back?
33 in the back?
We got a 33 in the back. Pastor's still trying to figure out how long he's been married.
Okay, 32 in March, 32 in September last year.
30.
Oh, and then you guys are 32? Oh, I think.
There you go.
So
there goes another winner.
this is a great book about emotionally connecting your hearts. And as we get longer in our marriage, we usually need that help a little bit more as our marriage goes on in years. So, yes, I hope you enjoy it.
Yes.
So 30, was it 33? 32.
32 last September.
We'll be celebrating our 37th anniversary this year.
Well done.
I guess we're the oldest married group. Wow, no. 37.
So you guys should have won the book.
Yeah, give me that book back. How long have you guys been married, Mike and Rene? How long? Actually,
31 this year.
31 this year. Oh man, we're feeling old.
Yeah, so we're the same as this couple of years. So we have one more book, and this we want to give usually, now correct me if I'm wrong, Doreen, usually marriages, like there's a 7-year itch, right? When things start getting a little bit, around about 7 years. So is there anyone here that's been married around about 7 years right now?
7. The biblical number.
7. Anyone 6? 5?
About 8.
What about 8 years?
Kevin and Tracy Ann, how long are you guys? 2? Well, they're still counting backwards, so just hang tight.
Oh,
Are
how
you
long?
2 years?
7.
7, there we go. There goes the winner,
okay.
7. The number of completion right there. Thank you so much. So again, everyone, we do have some refreshments downstairs. So hang out for a little while, fellowship together, get a chance. When are you guys leaving, by the way? Tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning? Oh.